One dark and stormy night, Mario receives a mysterious letter. That's no letter! Who would do such a thing?
Hello all 785 of you, I'm Redkwan, better known as the guy who didn't make a Kwanzaa special even though it would have been a pretty good pun. The Paper Mario series is a Nintendo fan favorite. Between its quirky characters, engaging combat, and just overall, I don't know, fun? Yeah, good enough. It's become one of the most beloved series in Nintendo's catalog. And by series, I really mean the first and second game, because the ones after that haven't been taken quite as well. After the original and the Thousand Year Door, the series went into a completely new direction. First was Super Paper Mario, which, while not a bad game, was not nearly as beloved as the first two, focusing more on the stage flipping than an adventure and having a different combat system. Color Splash had a really weird combat system too, that nobody liked, although there were still some good elements and some people thought it was a good game, and Sticker Star was, well, it was Sticker Star. So after such a well-received start, the series broke off in a new and pretty well agreed upon worse direction and hasn't looked back. But I feel like now, more than any other time since the end of the original Paper Mario style of games, there's a good chance the series will return to form. So with that being said, and admittedly not explained very well because this intro is getting really long, can Paper Mario Switch turn the series around? So what makes a turnaround now more likely than in the past? Well, Nintendo's past two consoles, and basically all their past handhelds, have been places where a game like Paper Mario wouldn't normally do too well. It's a bit obscure, even if it has the Mario name on it, and they just wouldn't have been quite the right fit. And Nintendo just didn't seem like they were willing to take Paper Mario back where the fans wanted it. But now on the Switch, the console that seems to come with two Joy-Cons and a bucket of hopes and dreams, it feels like that attitude might be different. And it's lucky we got the hopes and dreams because one of those two Joy-Cons is gonna desync all the time. Woo! The Switch means a Nintendo that's more willing to hear what the fans are saying, and maybe also a Nintendo that's more willing to look at what people loved about the series in the first place than they were in the past. Both of those changes in Nintendo could be good news for Paper Mario fans, because the fans of the Paper Mario series have definitely been asking for a return to the style of the older games, and because what made Paper Mario great in the first place is the style of the older games. And there's a lot more pointing toward a return to form for the series than just the Switch as a system. It might actually really benefit Nintendo. For one, Paper Mario Color Splash sold pretty darn bad. You might counter that by saying that relative to the series, Sticker Star and Super Paper Mario actually did better, and that is true, but Color Splash is the most recent game, and you can chalk up the success of the other two to people not knowing what they were really getting into, or wanting it to be like the other Paper Marios in Sticker Star's case, and Nintendo's marketing of Paper Mario as more of a platformer to the huge Wii audience for Super Paper Mario. Are those bad reasons? Maybe. Probably. But again, Color Splash, the most recent attempt for the series, did pretty badly, even as a late Wii U game. And with those disappointing sales, which you've got to imagine had a lot to do with the negative response to the new style of Paper Mario, it may be in Nintendo's best interest to go back to the old style in the hopes of getting better sales. And those sales would be amplified by the amount of excitement fans would have for a Paper Mario game that went back to the ways of Paper Mario games of old. I really believe a new Paper Mario that played like Thousand Year Door would get a response close to what Metroid Prime 4 got, which is pretty insane. So if it isn't already clear, I really do think Paper Mario will go back to the older style, at least to some extent. The new style of games aren't nearly as well loved, and with Nintendo being more open to the needs of their fans, as well as the fact that I think the older style of games would sell a lot better on the Switch, I think it only makes sense. But wait, don't stop watching just yet. You'll kill me in the algorithm. And also, is that really the best way to go? Now I know, people like the original game and Thousand Year Door a bunch more than say Sticker Star, but I also feel like that style of game, already having been used in the first two games in the series, might not be the right choice anymore. It's just that it's already been done a couple times, and it might not be as fresh and fun if it appeared again. I'm not saying more Sticker Star style games is the better path, but maybe going back to the Thousand Year Door style isn't quite right either. I think taking the best elements from the classic Paper Marios, but doing something new with them, is the best option for the games. And luckily, I think that's also pretty similar to what will happen. Nintendo isn't a company to go back and do one thing over again without making improvements and changes along the way. I think Nintendo will try to harken back to a lot of the elements from the old games, but they'll do it in a new way, which is a good solution, I think. Sure, some people would prefer a full-on return to that style, but I don't think that's very likely. I'd like to see Nintendo try something similar to what they did with Super Mario Odyssey, where they look at the style of game that fans have been dying for since the GameCube, and take a lot of what people loved about them into a new and unique game experience. It's a great way to please everyone while still avoiding treading the same old ground. Paper Mario obviously isn't as big of a deal as mainline Mario, so there probably wouldn't be so much effort and planning into something like that, but I do think in some ways the series will do the same thing. Some of the most loved elements from the series past will return, and probably starting with a renovated battle system, the series will continue to move forward. And I do think that change will turn the series around. Paper Mario Switch is in a great position to return to what made the series great, and I think in a lot of ways it will. It'll do a lot of new things too, and it won't be a perfect callback, but I think it will generally be a welcome return for the series. Or I'm really off, and Paper Mario Coloring Book Star will be what ends up hitting store shelves. Well, I'm Redkwan. What do you think? What do you think Paper Mario Switch will be like? Do you think it'll be a turnaround for the series? I'm usually pretty pessimistic about stuff, but you know what? I figure I can have a positive prediction once in a while, right? Right? Is that allowed in my contract? How do you feel about the name Paper Mario Coloring Book Star? I think it's stupid. Anyways, I'm Redkwan. Thank you all for watching, and I'll hopefully see you all later. Goodbye.